there's a time limit, there's a time ceiling within which you have to file an action like this. And that time is past. We can't have an open-ended system whereby people can wake up at any time, maybe even a day to the expiration of Buhari's presidency, and then say you are going to court. You know, there has to be a time ceiling so that we can work within that time ceiling. If we file this joke of a case a few weeks after the election was won and lost, we would have said maybe it was serious, although I would still think it wasn't serious. But filing this kind of action so late in the day suggests just how serious the litigant as well as his lawyers are. And to talk about a referendum, the Nigerian Constitution does not provide for a referendum under any guise. There's no such thing as referendum in the Nigerian Constitution. That's why when IPOB and the rest of them talk about referendum, from where are you bringing referendum? Because it's not backed by law. So this is the thing, wasted the time of the court, and to make it even funnier, he said all the salaries that Buhari received, that it should be made to cough everything out.
I am Ike, calling from Abuja. Thank you for joining us, Ike.
A very good evening, journalist Hangout.
Good evening, Ike.
Good evening.
Hello?
Hello.
Very good evening, journalist Hangout.
Yes, Ike, you're live. Go ahead, please.
It's a bit comical to me that we are talking about the candidates that took Mr. President to the court, the Hope Democratic Party candidates. We all were here, or are here, when the judiciary in Nigeria sworn in a governor in a state who came fourth in a race, and it was not so much of a surprise to a number of people. Recently, we have a senator that picked tickets for primaries, one as a presidential aspirant, the other as a senatorial aspirant, and all of a sudden, the same highest court in the land recently gave him the nod of approval.
Thank you, Ike. Thank you, Ike. Julie, if you remember this individual in 2019, that was, I think, the runner-up, came third in that election from one obscure party like that benefited from the mix-up between PDP and APC. At the end of the day, he had 170,000 votes. Even he had votes than Shore. He had more votes. So in 2019, he came for the primaries. In 2023, he bought the evangelistic. He bought the 100 million naira from banking on his block.
The acronym of his party makes it very close to the PDP.
Yes.
And the way it's positioned on the ballot, many people will make the mistake.
So he felt a lot of people voted for him.
People who wanted to
over 100,000 votes.
PDP.
Yes.
Some of them will inadvertently thumbprint his party. That's how he became more popular
than Shore and everybody.
Shore, we will see whether he can score more votes this time, because
I think he had 32,000, 10-something thousand votes.
Abusing people all over the place, as if that is what will take him to a Buteogo. you have to campaign to people, not by insult. Campaign, go around the country, show that you have value, not simply abusing people all over the place. He's done it to the point that even his own constituency, they are worried about. You saw what happened to him during NSAS, that they had to walk him out of a rally venue. So let's hope that this time around it will score more votes than 2019.
2019. All right. That the security challenge in the southeast continues to fester is appalling. Worried by the developments, the youth wing of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and various pro-Biafra groups have risen from a security meeting in Abia State to give unknown gunmen who continue to cause mayhem and killings to leave the zone. In a statement issued after the meeting, the groups reached a conclusion that insecurity in the Southeast is politically motivated to scare people, which must not be allowed to continue. Julie, this is very important, that even IPOB is coming to condemn or to ostracize, attempting to ostracize the unknown gunmen, the faceless people that have been unleashing terror across the Southeast.
Yes, at least the youth wing of IPOB is part of the groups who have declared war. There is MASOB, there is IFM, ISC, and Igbo Hunters and Ndigbo Lion Security Network. The unknown gunmen have been killing people for fun in the Southeast. Look at the local government chairman that they killed in Imo. After receiving 6 million in ransom, they still subjected him to humiliation before beheading him and saying nobody should come and nobody should do election in the Southeast. And also, at this stage now, groups need to come together because this thing is now beyond IPOB. IPOB said there should be no, or that there will be no sit at home except on the days when Nnamdi Kanu is brought to court. IPOB started the sit at home idea. They decided that, okay, this thing was inflicting pain on our people, therefore, let it be let it not be on Mondays anymore, but on days when Kanu is taken to court. But what do we see? On Mondays, people can't go out. Banks do not open on Mondays anymore. Schools do not open. Schools now open even on Saturdays to make up for lost time on Monday. Banks open on Saturday to make up for lost time on Monday. So, and people are diverting their businesses to neighboring states like Akwa Ibom, like Delta. You know, some markets that used to be in Onitsha have been moved into Asaba. Some parents whose children used to school in Onitsha, they've now been moved to Asaba. People are moving into neighboring states because they believe that such neighboring states are safer to live in. Asaba is a spitting distance to Onitsha. But the difference in terms of the security and general peaceful nature of both communities is humongous, you know. So they've got to do something. The Igbo man takes pride in opening his containers on Monday morning. Honestly. But these days, the containers are diverted somewhere else and then open on Monday morning so that the business of the week can officially start. But these boys are making life difficult for everyone, and they are not even discriminating on maybe they like PDP or they like ABGA. Anybody that they lay their hands upon, it is death. So they have to be resisted. And if the hunters and other people are coming together, so be it. Because leaving them to operate for this long without confronting them has made those cultists, because these guys, a good number of them are cultists. They don't take instruction from IPOB. It's like everyone is just doing what he likes, you know. So they've got to be confronted, and that is what we are seeing now.
Now, when you look at the Southeast, used to be a very, very peaceful region. Yeah. I never believed for one day that these things could degenerate like this in the Southeast.
Well, it was the evil seed that IPOB planted that germinated and became a plant, that an evil plant.
What do you mean by evil seed?
Yes, when I said evil seed, they started it. They started the sit at home. They started the sit at home, which affected the economy of that area. Later, IPOB struggled to distance itself from the killings. If you remember, IPOB, many times, IPOB and its ESN will be accused of the killings. And then they will say, no, we're not involved. Some other groups latched or took advantage of what IPOB started to further the mayhem, to escalate tension in that place. And the biggest loser...
What is the difference between IPOB and Odua People's Congress?
Well, you know, OPC also did it, but if you look at OPC, there was a time that OPC was also causing mayhem in the Southwest. But the terror that OPC unleashed on the South was not as big as this.
And it didn't last so long.
It didn't last so long. You talked about that a local government chairman being beheaded. You've seen so gruesome, mindless, evil killings of people. And if these people are coming together, the youth wing of IPOB, it's a very good thing. But they need to work together with the security agencies. I
have Bayo from Saple, that is in Delta State.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Ayo.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Bayo.
Everybody, good evening, sir.
I greet you.
Okudada.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, nothing like government. I mean, those that are working for the politicians, that the government, like Saple where we are here. There's many boys where you catch as a country. The day where police catch them will be up to say yes, police have catch them. But they reach Asaba, police will release them for road. Many of them able to work for Saple that with the fear because every day they used to kill. And once vigilante carry them, the police, if they carry them, you could appreciate they don't carry them. Before 2 days, they don't free them.
Thank you, Bayo. So I'm asking this
exactly, and I don't like the expression unknown gunmen because these people are known. They can be tracked, they can be traced. So if these groups are coming to say that they are giving them deadline, it's a good thing. They should they should help the security agencies identify those children of hell that are violation mayhem. So that place will be purged. The biggest losers in this are our brothers and sisters from the East. The traders who can no longer do their business. The children who can no longer go to school. Social life crippled. Economic life crippled. Education crippled. So there has got to be an end to this.
At the point in time, they were even sitting for maybe junior work. Some hoodlums went to one of the villages and they had to discard the children and burnt.
No, a lot of the politicians cannot stay in the East. Whether House of Assembly members or so, they are in Abuja. They've fled because they target politicians for kidnap and then killing. I saw the video of a very big man from the East who became popular during the Obasanjo regime, a big-time government contractor. If you see the security, he said he was going to he went to his village. It was combined security, this architecture made up of police, soldiers, and everybody. I mean, even Buhari does not get that kind of security.
The thing is that not every citizen has that privilege.
Yes, but you know that kind of person will be a high caliber target. So the security for him was, man, I've not seen a governor even protected like that in this country.
All right. The voice of reason is gradually prevailing in the controversies surrounding the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The governor of the Apex Bank, Godwin Emefiele, has finally appeared before the committee of the House of Representatives, which summoned him over the confusion caused by the Naira redesign and exchange of old notes with new one. The ad hoc committee, which is chaired by the majority leader, Alassane Adodogwa, hopes to use the opportunity to reach an agreement that will favor Nigerians. This was the position of Babajide and Mojid Jamiu when the issue came up for discussion on the program on Monday. Let's take a listen.
These are the representatives of the people. when they came up with the earlier directive, people, this same representatives of the people, resisted it. They said, no, this will inflict pain. This will put POS guys out of business. Then that was rescinded in a way. Yes, the CBN has autonomy, but it does not have the monopoly of knowledge, especially about how its policies will affect our people negatively. The CBN governor can't say because he has the support of the president, then disobey the National Assembly. Emefiele has to go and face these people. Explain what you want to do in detail to them. Explain in detail, because these are the same people that if today you want to appoint a CBN governor, they have to approve.
Yes.
So you can't treat them with levity. You can't treat them like they do not exist. No, you can't do that. Go before them, explain why you want to do this. Some of them too have passed through the banking system. They have experience. They can come up with ideas that can even help you. Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. I stand to be correct. I've not seen anywhere in the world where you change currency and you give people such a short time ceiling as we have done. And that is why people believe that this is meant to inflict pain. So, and the representatives of people are saying, extend. I'm sure he thought that, okay, when he gets there, they are going to, but it doesn't matter. Once you've been
going to pay you now.
Once you've been told to come, you have to face them. The law backs them. The law says that they can invite you. They can invite even the president. They can invite him.
It cannot be treating the lawmakers with disdain and expect them to keep quiet. I mean, you are not only responsible to the president. We have three arms of government. That's why we have checks and balances. The legislature acts as a check and balance, and they have their oversight functions over that of the executive. That's why a president cannot spend money without approval from the National Assembly. Even the money the CBN is spending was appropriated by the National Assembly. So I see no reason why it should not cut them and go to them and explain.
Going to the president and giving extension does not replace the summon that was issued.
The worst that can happen is if they don't like the way he answers them, they can pass a vote of no confidence and he can appeal it and beg them, but not for you to abstain. It's like an insult. It's like you are hiding something.
So go yourself. Go and face them yourself.
Oh, and behold, Godwin Emefiele buckled and he appeared before the House of Representatives earlier today. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's still Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out.
My brother, my sister, do you know that winning an election is not only about getting the majority vote? For that your candidate to be declared winner of the election, he or she must secure 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all states plus the FCT to be president, and 25% of the vote in 2/3 of all local governments of a state to be governor. This is constitutional, and every presidential candidate has had to pass this threshold. Even governors have had to make this mark to get elected in their states. We live in one country with different languages, religions, and ethnic groups. This is why it is not enough to have only northern votes, or southern votes, or eastern votes, or western votes. The only way to get elected as president or governor is by gaining enough support across the country and states. Let us make sure that we know now so that we don't cause an issue tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, with support from the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO.
How important is comfort to you? Is it as important as the day you discovered that self-love is the start of good life? Here is a comfort that your self-love, Iderade, transit into your serenity. The opportunity awaits you on this peace of mind as you pay in installments of 24 months with initial deposit of 500,000 Naira. Serenity at its finest.
A day to remember in the history of our dear country, Nigeria. 9 wise men from the north who are governors came together on June 8th, 2022 to stand for equity and fairness in the interest of our nation, Nigeria. They buried personal interest for the unity of our country. They supported the call that power must shift to the south in 2023. They chose a Nigeria agenda. We salute our brothers and sisters in the northern part of this country who, in spite of their vote advantage, continue to propagate the unity of Nigeria by promoting rotational presidency between the north and southern part of the country. Let voters in the north follow the move by these leaders. Vote for power shift to the south. It's the turn of the south to produce the president in 2023. Let's vote Bola Tinubu for president for a renewed hope of better Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you for staying with us. It's Journalist Hangout. Babajide, I'll say congratulations. We mounted that pressure. We started from last week, and Emefiele has bowed down. Emefiele has not only extended the date, he appeared before the people's representatives today, and he apologized.
Yes.
So
you can't
nobody can be bigger than.
No, you can't be bigger than the
Nigerians.
state. You can't be bigger than the constitution. The law is clear that these guys have the power to exercise their function of oversight. And they were doing that. They were not doing anything outside the law. Whether we like it or not, this House of Reps, led by Femi Gbajabiamila, you may not like his face. You may not like his seemingly unkempt manner. But they fight for the Nigerian people. You can't take that away from him. Going back to even during the time of COVID, when largely in our country there was blackout, and that actress came out to say what's going on in our country, why is there so much blackout, and our people are suffering, this and that. It took Gbajabiamila to invite her. This is the way that this House of Reps Speaker intervenes in matters that affect our people.
No. Yeah, so
you know? So we cannot sit back and watch that kind of person who is fighting for you and I being humiliated and disrespected by an appointee of government. This is why some of these positions that we take, we are convinced that it is in the interest of the ordinary man. It's in the interest of the ordinary man. If we say, look, you have this thing that you are doing that you imagine that politicians will suffer, you are deceiving yourself. One of the most honest politicians that I've seen in this country is Ali Ndume. Ali Ndume said, see, if I need money, they will bring it to me. It is the ordinary man that will suffer. This is the point that many people don't understand.
Exactly.
The people who are going to parties to demonstrate their indiscipline by spraying money, when in fact they are supposed to go to jail every time they spray money and disrespect our currency in the way they are doing. They are getting away with it. How are they able to lay their hands on the money? Because they will do deals with bank staff. They will do deals with CBN staff. So if those ones, a lot of them non-entities, if they can go to that length to lay their hands on brand new money, you are telling me that politicians, some of them who have shares in these banks, I know some of them who have shares in this bank, some of them even own banks. You want me to believe that they will look for money that they will not find it?
Let's just take you to Abuja earlier today when the CBN governor attended that summon.
Aisha, we were briefed very adequately about the need for us for the economy to operate a cashless society. So no one of us here is in doubt that the cashless policy of your own bank and the government is of course a good policy. We will see how we can partner with you to promote policies that are good. But when policies are now coming on in the eyes of too much storms in the face of the people, storming the economy, shuttling agriculture, stopping transportation, left, right, and center with our constituents crying out, then of course we are under moral obligation to seek clarifications from you, to hear from you.
As well as its efficacy in the conduct of monetary policy are some of the hallmarks of a great central bank. And we have done our best working and with your support and your cooperation to make sure that we do our work. And today I think I must continue to give credit to our colleagues at the Central Bank of Nigeria for the excellent job that they have been doing in support to redesign or do some form of changes to its currency. The reason is because the central bank has to be in a position from time to time to have firm control of money supply in the country. Unfortunately, we have not had the luxury of carrying out this important aspect of our mandate in the last almost 19 years. 19 years. To the extent that I'd like to say this. In 2015, currency in circulation was 1.4 trillion naira. October 2022, currency in circulation had risen to 3.23 trillion naira. More than double in 7 years. Very, very unfortunate that it more than doubled in 7 years. Out of the 3.23 trillion naira, more than 2.7 trillion naira were outside the banking system. More than 2.7 trillion naira is held in people's homes. What that does is that it makes our mandate of monetary policy very difficult. When we are not in control, out of 3.23 trillion, what we see only in the banking system is just about 500 billion. There is no how our work, which you, the lawmakers, has made a law for us to carry out. Our work cannot be effective. And that is the reason, and permit me, I will continue to say, and thank the President that in 19 years we've had an opportunity to carry out this important aspect of our mandate. We are grateful because we are grateful to
Mr. Godwin Emefiele there, that's the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. He attended.
While it is true that our laws empower the Central Bank of Nigeria and the governor to formulate monetary policies, but Emefiele needs to remember that he's not an emperor, and I think the House of Reps has been able to make that point to him. As Speaker Gbajabiamila is my hero in this particular situation. Of course, Gbajabiamila has always stepped out for Nigerians. I still remember, it's still fresh in mind, the role he played at resolving the ASU strike. If the House of Reps or the Speaker had not insisted that the man could be arrested, maybe he wouldn't have appeared today. So he appeared, and I also like the fact that he was reminded, the Speaker reminded him that the grace period that the CBNs will be given after the expiration of the deadline, the 1 week grace period, would not also make sense. That the CBN Act says even months after, people can still go and deposit their old notes in the bank. Well, for me, I am not satisfied even with this deadline extension. It's better than nothing, but maybe I'm even suspecting. There. I'm even suspecting that maybe further extension.
Yes.
You see, this thing is, it would have been easier if these old notes are phased out gradually. So one day we just wake up and we don't see them anymore. That's the way it should be.
Today is 31st. If that deadline had not been extended by today, the old currency would have been something of the past. It would have just been something you put in your library and you tell your grandchildren that this is what we used to spend at a point in time in Nigeria. Now it has been extended and Nigerians are still pushing for more extension so that they can have access.
Yes, you know how difficult it is now. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
I sent you a video earlier. Did you see people struggling to enter the bank?
I've not even opened.
Oh, tug of war.
Yeah, no, even
entering the bank.
You know the irony of this matter. The things, the inefficiencies that Emefiele would not admit to. People were asked to bring their money. They took their monies to the banks. Now, they can neither collect both old notes nor the new notes. But you told them to bring these notes. Now you came up with the idea, no, you cannot give them new notes across the counter. That it has to be through the ATMs. Because Emefiele, I don't know if he has an idea of how many communities in our country we have banks. It doesn't appear, because those who are saying, look, Northerners will be the ones to suffer the most. They are not far from the truth. The truth is, so many parts of the North, there are no banks at all.
True.
When the governor of Kano State said that outside the state capital, the metropolis, that there are banks in only 4 local governments out of 44.
As big as Kano.
Yes, the banks are located in the metropolis. Outside of the metropolis, you have just 4 local governments where you have banks. See how big Kano is. See the population of Kano. Officially, at least by the 2006 census, the largest state in Nigeria, having banks in just 4 local governments outside of the state capital. Now, today when I was investigating this issue further, Kaduna to Sokoto is 491 kilometers. It's an 8-hour journey passing through 3 states. There are only 4 communities within that 491 kilometer stretch where you will find banks. 491 kilometers stretching across 3 states. But you will find banks only in Zaria, Funtua, Gusau, and Talata Mafara. Now, Gusau and Talata Mafara is Zamfara State. The whole of Sokoto, North Senatorial Constituency, there is no bank. The people of Isa local government, is located close to the border with Niger Republic. That is the local government of the former governor, Atahiru Bafarawa. When they want to use the bank, they travel from Isa to Shinkafi in Zamfara State. Now, there are 14 local governments in Zamfara. Out of these 14 local governments, you will find that it's only in Shinkafi, Kaurana Moda, Gusau, and Talata Mafara where you will find banks. The late Shehu Kangiwa caused a branch of UBA to be sited in Safe in 1981, just before he died while playing polo. Today, the bank has closed that branch on account of it not being profitable. So you look at, I'm going to this length. We can still talk about that state like Katsina. What we are talking about is true of Sokoto, is true of Katsina. So when people see us talk about the pains this thing will inflict on our people, you can imagine having to travel up to 200 kilometers before you can access a bank.
Or 490-something kilometers, and just
4 banks.
4 banks within the stretch.
And
it's like Lagos to Abuja.
Just 4 banks.
4 banks.
4 banks.
All right. We'll take this breather. When we come back, we'll talk more.
And insecurity, reposition our economy for businesses to thrive and restore total peace in the land. Tinubu is the right man for the job. Through innovation and technology, he will reposition Nigeria for businesses to thrive. Nigeria will export more and import less. Tinubu will reposition the agricultural sector for food security and improve farmers' welfare. Electricity will be reformed for a brighter Nigeria. Health, education, and housing will be more accessible and affordable. Nigeria will be transformed into an entertainment powerhouse, a home of sporting achievement, and a renowned tourist destination. Tinubu's government will build a Nigeria where we prosper together. He has done it before, and he will do it again for Nigeria.
For renewed hope 2023, vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Kashim Shettima as President and Vice President of Nigeria. Vote APC.
A state-of-the-art Nigerian Police Force National Command and Control Center was commissioned by President Muhammad Buhari in the last quarter of 2019. Since then, the police has been upgrading and expanding the control center so as to make it more technology-driven and aligned with modern-day policing. Security in the southeast came under severe threat following violent attacks on security formations and civilians by militant Biafran separatist group. Sustained security operation in this region has in recent times localized their operations to Imo and Anambra states, while government continue to employ strategies to engender peace and security in the entire Southeast.
This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
A day to remember in the history of our dear country, Nigeria. 9 wise men from the north who are governors came together on June 8th, 2022 to stand for equity and fairness in the interest of our nation, Nigeria. They buried personal interests for the unity of our country. They supported the call that power must shift to the south in 2023. They chose a Nigeria agenda. We salute our brothers and sisters in the northern part of this country who, in spite of their vote advantage, continue to propagate the unity of Nigeria by promoting rotational presidency between the north and southern part of the country. Let voters in the north follow the move by these leaders. Vote for power shift to the south. It's the turn of the south to produce the president in 2023. Let's vote Bola Tinubu for president for a renewed hope of better Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you for staying with us. Dada, now, when you look at the distant DJ was trying to paint and everything, accessibility, and the CBN governor said the money outside of the banking sector, and we're explaining the reason why this situation might occur again.
I think this actually explains the reason you have high volume of cash outside the banking system. Emefiele thinks that people who operate outside the banking system, that majority of them are,
politicians
engaged in money laundering and all sorts. Well, that's possible. That's a fact. But when you have many communities,
no, you can't say majority of them. I don't even agree that majority of them.
No, I didn't say majority. A few of them. Did I say majority?
No, you said majority.
That would have. That's a slip. So a number of them would, of course, get involved in money laundering and all of that. But when you have many communities, lacking banks or any financial institutions,
around
and they are farmers, they are traders, no bank is close to them. they have to keep their cash. When they do business, they make profit, they keep the cash at home. Then they go back again to, use the money for their...
Multiply the...
So what is concerned probably should also be how to get banks to be, how to encourage, banks, how banks should establish branches in some of those places. Because if people are doing businesses, then they need banks. So to now say that, to complain that much of the cash in circulation goes out, is outside the banking system, it's not enough for him to just complain. Now, what they are doing is not hurting the politicians, like we said earlier. It's hurting the common man. A lot of people do not have access to the new notes. Even when people are returning the old notes to the banks, they can't access the new notes.
Even
the old notes, they are not giving people money.
In Lagos.
In this place today, I went to Access Bank on this street. Not one of their ATMs was dispensing cash. People were angry. Not one. This is verifiable. Just down the street.
You are going through a lot.
Just down the street. And it's a very big branch. No, not one.
And Julie, have you noticed, if you are not spending cash and you want to effect a transfer,
it's also difficult. That's the point.
Very difficult.
I tried to move money from my Access Bank to my UBA because that's the one for which I have an ATM. I couldn't. And I went into a bank. If I couldn't do it, how will I be able to do it on my phone?
I experienced a failed transaction and I went to a bank to complain. The security man thought I came for money and he was telling me, and then I said, no money, no money. I said, I didn't come for money. I came to complain about failed transaction. The money is not available. Cash is not available. Meanwhile, people are getting this, some people are getting this, spending at parties, racketeers. Now, this is happening because of the way CBN is handling this matter. CBN is to take the blame.
No, if not for the indecent haste, which is the reason many people, the YPP presidential candidate said this is political. Shehu Sani too said this is political. Because this is something that ideally is over a period of 6 months that you can do this kind of thing. Once they bring the old notes, make sure it doesn't come out of the banking system, then give them new notes. What is the deadline? This kind of ceiling. Look at the tension in the north because of it. That the president's visit to Kano had to be postponed until people got wind that, the extension had happened, then the tension came down. The president was able to come to Kano.
Benga is calling us from Abuja.
Evening, the guests there and Gide and Ayo.
Go ahead, please.
This policy is good, but the implementation was not well thought out. This has caused embarrassment to the president and the government of APC. And when Bola Tinubu, the incoming president, was talking about it, people are saying because they want to use money to buy votes. You can see now that his outcry has now brought this relief. Because look at yesterday, the president was embarrassed in Kano because people felt that this thing is against us. Many people in Kano do not keep their money in the bank.
We have to leave there, Benga. Our time is fast spent. Thank you for your contribution, Benga. Gentlemen.
So made the point that many people in Kano don't use the banks, and they have to show their anger. It's a fleeting pain on people.
Traders.
Yes,
traders. Big international markets.
In those days, I used to talk about a man in single market who hired people. Their duty is just to count money. He wasn't using the bank. He wasn't using the bank. But I never even knew that time this kind of thing would happen. But that was the situation.
Paul Dada, thank you for your contribution. And BKO, thank you for always being there. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11 p.m. Join us on Sunday for Journalist Hangout on Sunday between 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Up next is Election Countdown. 24 days to the next general election.
Day to remember in the history of our dear country, Nigeria. 9 wise men from the north who were governors came together on June 8th, 2022 to stand for equity and fairness in the interest of our nation, Nigeria. They buried personal interests for the unity of our country. They supported the call that power must shift to the South in 2023. They chose a Nigeria agenda. We salute our brothers and sisters in the northern part of this country who, in spite of their vote advantage, continue to propagate the unity of Nigeria by promoting rotational presidency between the north and southern part of the country. Let voters in the north follow the move by these leaders. Vote for power shift to the South. It's the turn of the South to produce the president in 2023. Let's vote Bola Tinubu for president for a renewed hope of better Nigeria. Vote Kashim Shettima as vice president. Vote APC. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Happy New Year! ShopX TV is proud to bring you a very special offer. Yes, from now till January 31st, 2023, we are offering our customers an opportunity